back again. Today I came home early. So hi guys, welcome. Um Topic for today is about family and the dynamics of family and drama, unity, and how we view family as a whole. I'll speak on my experience with my family and how I have given a breakdown earlier on about in my first chapter about my life. Um, so we don't talk much about the extended family here in Kenya specific. We start with the nuclear family. That's the mom, the dad, the children, and the children within that home. Then the extended family is the grandparents, the aunties, like the close proximity from where your parents came from, their brothers, their sisters, and their parents. And then you can go much more extended. Uh, Now, for me, I'll say my family was, like I said, a little bit toxic. Um, Grew up with a lot of seeing my dad, um, trigger warning, beating my mom, and it did for me. I'll say it affected me a lot. One, made me have the fear of I might get into a marriage that looks like that, and I don't want that. Maybe that's why not 100% that I'm single, but it did affect me because we are told girls look for dads in their husbands, and ooh, and looking at my dating history, I actually go away further from the example my dad. I totally have dated opposite of that, which has also backfired on me. Um, Other than that, uh, seeing my mom like striving to make our life better, striving to fill the void of love, and that void of not finding love from your father, because that's the first love for daughters, even for sons, for them to know how to treat a woman. But now, when I look at it, that void was somehow filled by my grandfather, but he passed on much earlier in life, on my life, when I was in 8 years old. Then struggle from that. You just listen to your mother. My mother now, I kept listening to her, and she hasn't she gave me the advice like, if you don't wait for a man to do something for that something for you, be a go-getter. A man is supposed to amplify you. That's a good quote to note. So yeah, but for me personally, in family dynamics, dads should hold a major candle for their children, to as a guideline to become better human beings, to relate to others in a different light. um it's sad to see most of the people in the same age group have experienced the same thing. I have friends who have been brought up with both their parents still married up to date, and I have friends who have been brought up in broken homes, single parents. And one thing for sure, people who are brought up in single homes look for love more in the partners they get in life, and the others are just like, it will happen when it happens. So yeah, it's a two-way different drive. But I'll say also the extended family also factor in how you perceive other people. For me, because my extended family, both grandparents, they were married until one of them passed on. And let me say, from my dad's side, my grandfather from my dad's side was a like the patriarch of the family. He held this. He held the family strong. He was stout and strict and respected. It didn't help that he was also a cop in what he did as a profession, but he protected me for most of my childhood life when I was going to visit him. Well, for one, because I couldn't speak the mother tongue. So, and most of my cousins used to bully me about that because I grew up knowing the Kikuyu, the normal Kikuyu. But like I said, there are three types of Kikuyu. Actually, is it three? Because there's Kikuyu from Nyeri, Kikuyu from Kirinyaga, and Kikuyu from Kiambu, and Kikuyu from Nyandaro, therefore. So the dialect from different parts of central Kenya, they are similar and not similar at the same time because even greetings are different. So for me, I couldn't. They usually said I had a heavy tongue because I could not speak Kikuyu properly, like articulate the speech. One, they forget that I was raised in metropolitan area, that is Nairobi, and Ngong, which is close to Nairobi, and studying in school, the teachers were also from different communities, so they didn't have the Kikuyu uh, way of pronouncing words. So it was not easy for me to learn Kikuyu. I actually taught myself to speak Kikuyu while I was in late teen years. Even my grandmother is surprised by that. But it reaches sometimes when we are talking, the speech just ends. So I even tell them like my Kikuyu has ended there. I can't speak more. But anyway, that was I digress. So yeah, from my father's side, my grandfather from there protected me. Well, I later on found out that he was protecting me because he saw that I'm trying my level best to speak, to even relate with my cousins that lived back at home, and I couldn't because most of they just sidelined me because I couldn't speak whatever they speak, but I I could hear every word they were saying. I could understand and I could hear, but if I was to if I was to respond to whatever they were asking, I responded in Kiswahili mostly. So they used to not like that much. So he will protect me for that. And I think also jealousy played a part, that he took me under his wing. But I understood after he passed on why he did that. Um, One, my cousins were much older. I was actually the youngest before my brother was born. And two, he understood how the upbringing I was being brought up by. And plus, he understood his son, my dad. And I think since birth, because he protected me from when I was born until now, until when he passed on, he could understand why I could not relate with other people easily. Uh, I cannot explain it, I cannot articulate it into words, but I understood it. So that was on my dad's side. On my mom's side, my grandfather from my mom's side, he passed way before my dad's granddad. He died when I was 8. And my dad's dad, my grandfather from my dad's side, he died when I was 15. So you see that big gap. But my mom's dad, he actually, to understand him, he was a Maasai. Um, his mom and dad were both Masais, and his mom and him, when he was a young boy during Kikuyu and Masai raiding each other, they were, for a better word, kidnapped as they're raiding. And my great grandmother raised my grandfather in Kikuyu land, and she was remarried to a Kikuyu man, and she had other children after that. So my grandfather grew up knowing Kikuyu, even though he was Maasai originally. One of my cousins, did a research and found out where specific the clan and the specific place. He found it was from Ibisil in Kajiado, and further investigating, he found also we had Masai, other than Masai blood, we had also Tugen blood. So now that comes to play with my speech, not knowing how to speak Kikuyu, because as my grandparents said, I have a heavy tongue. I could not speak it like fluently, even though me reading English, my dad from very young age used to bring me novels and storybooks. So English was easier for me. Even right now, composing music, I find it difficult to compose Kiswahili songs than English. English is easy for me. Okay, now we have gotten to my grandfather from my mom's side. He used to guide me with parables, stories, while we were herding the cattle. Still, true to his authenticity, he still did that. Herding his cattle, will sing, he'll talk to me, give me stories. I still remember it up to date. And when he passed on, I did have a vision before he passed on. And the morning that he had already passed on, I told my mom, and it was weird. Like I said, sometimes I have some weird. My mom says I have a strong telepathy with me, and yeah, now I'm starting to see it. So my grandfather from my mom's side used to give me guidelines through the stories he used to say. And even right now, when I tell my mom some stories, she's like, "You heard that from my dad. How come? It's weird. Like you still remember those words." I'm like, "Yeah, I learned a lot, even though I was young." He took his time to talk to me, even though I was young. I would have not understood whatever he said, but now, looking back as a grown up, I now understand what he was saying. Um, so my grandfather from my mom's side had already foreseen my mom and my dad not working out. So, but he had given me guidelines on how to tackle issues that will arise, and also finding myself. That was a good support. My grandmother on my mom's side still alive till date, even my grandmother from my dad's side. My grandmother from my mom's side has is a matriarch of the family. Very straightforward, blunt. She'll not miss a bit to tell you the truth, even if you don't like it, which is a breath of, like a good breath of fresh air, because with her you know what she says, and she says what she means. uh my dad's mom, on the other hand, sometimes when we the little time we have communicated after my dad and mom has separated, it seems manipulation a little bit, and no acknowledgement of issues that arose. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, sometimes because I'm named after her, sometimes I just wish she could have reached out more, or I could reach out more. But yeah, the relationship dynamic, we are not that close. But my grandmother from my mom's side, that lady, I can call her in a bit, or she can call me anytime just to tell me, you have been quiet. Yes. So I'll say family dynamics are very weird. With the friends I've talked to, most of them, they seem to be closer with the either the cousins from the mom side mostly than the dad side. And when you find the friends with family from the dad sides, they're close, is because their father has opened that space of making the family bond strong. It's not only the father, it's also the mother who has allowed that relationship to work. So I'll say, like, both parents should just help their children to have relations healthier, mind you, healthier relations, because we have known of relatives abusing some of their relatives. But that that openness at least can give you, so that you can know who's who and how they act around children and all that, so that you can be having a safe space of bonding and having relations that last you a lifetime. So yeah, dramas, they never cease to appear in family. Obviously, you always, when you're kids, you hear whispers of what this uncle did or what that aunt does. Mostly it happens to be, oh, they're using juju, or oh, this one used to take drugs, or it's a lot. So yeah, there are whispers about that. Which family doesn't? um then the wholesome about the family. Well, I, for one, from the dynamics I grew up with, and then the separation and all that, I long for having a family, a whole family, my whole family as a whole, and a healthier one with open communication, easier. It's not easier, like, that one will help. It will make it easier to talk about things easily and openly, and also be happy and peaceful. Uh, yeah, but all in all, I wish everyone the best of love, finding peace, and their serenity in a home of a family, if that floats your boat, or also having peace in yourself. You don't look for peace in other people, you look for peace first in yourself. Then the others can amplify that peace, because if you depend on other people giving you that peace, you'll never find it. If you depend on other people to find love, never find it. First, love yourself, find your peace, then spread it around. That's all for today. uh Thank you for those who joined. Ruth Nzula, hi. Hi back. Kyle, oh, I swallow come. Yeah, now I read it out loud now. I feel dumb. But anyway, thanks for joining. Until next Tuesday, I'll find a topic. It's about family, it's about being a human, basically. Bye.